No, this isn't the new baseball from 2022 featuring the GOAT Shohei Ohtani. This is baseball from 1983, a full 11 years before Ohtani was even born. I'm going to beat every game on the Nintendo Switch Online subscription pass. The goal is to see how well these games hold up and if they're worth playing. It's baseball! First started in 1839, it was finally brought to the home console for children in 1983, and I'll be honest, this game is fun as hell. That's how I'm starting this. I played this with my girlfriend when it came out on the subscription pass, and it's actually a good time with another player. And we actually played a bit again when I mentioned I was recording this, and yeah, it's still fun. It's simple, it's old, and just a marvel of human technology. I'm such a nerd for this type of video game history, but honestly, it's sort of fun playing these simpler games and putting yourself in the past, like before you were born, to like a time where this is what kids played, and this is what started the movement for what we have today. However, this time I'll be playing it from a one-player mode, and this would be really different from when we played it as a two-player game. Oh, I should know this game does not have background music. It is very archaic. But that's sort of what gives it its charm. Anywho, there doesn't seem to be a one-player adventure, so I'm just going to do a one-player session. I first picked out what I assumed was the Yankees. I don't know, but they're a black and gray team, and it's cool colors, so I'll go with that. And as I played along, I kind of find out that the CPU is like really difficult. As I was recording footage, I kind of ran into this issue where they would just mix up everything, and they would hit everything, and they would just completely dominate the game. Like, I could barely get runs in, and they were just getting hits in on everything I was doing. If I was throwing a normal pitch, they were getting home runs. It really seemed really unfair. And it somehow seemed like their outfield wasn't as bad as mine. Like, my outfield just could not do shit. Like, it's so weird playing this and just getting demolished. Like, I played this before. I thought it was gonna do good, and no, I'm getting reamed, like, badly. Needless to say, I did try this a few times, and I became extremely frustrated with the difficulty of this challenge. And originally, I planned on beating every team, but I couldn't even get ahead within the first quarter of the game. So I did what I said I'd do in the past, and I did look up the manual, and I found out some details in the controls that I never picked up on before. I didn't think I was going to beat it yet, but I'd figure I'd go in and just kind of learn as I played. And no, not really. I had actually played this for a while, and I did figure out one small thing. If I pitched a slow ball by holding up, and then as a pitcher released the ball, I held left, and then right midway, the CPU would get confused and not swing, and I could strike them out. Now, they didn't always fall for it, but 70% of the time they did. And even when they hit it, they weren't at least making these amazing plays that they were doing earlier. So I figured, okay, this is it. I'm just gonna do one game, and I'm gonna call it a day and give you my thoughts on it. I know, maybe not what you thought, but it's a game from 1985. What more do you expect? All right, now please stand up for our national anthem, presented by Steve from American Dad. Okay, cool. We kind of had to cut that early for copyright reasons. But anyways, play ball! All right, top of the first inning, we've got Vali pitching. Woo! And successfully strikes him out. I mean, some players did get on base, but no one scored, which was a huge difference from earlier. Hell yeah, this new technique was going to get me my win. Next, I'm batting, and I still haven't figured out this part yet. I was praying my defense was going to carry me, and well, I didn't do too bad this time. I successfully got one run in. Nice. Top of the second, and I get one strikeout. Second batter gets another strikeout. Third batter also gets striked out. I'm catching these fools looking. Bottom of the second, I hit the ball, but like I said, I haven't figured this part out yet. Second batter does about the same thing. Third batter gets a nice double after juking the other players. I guess I'm just too fast for you, CPU. Next batter up gets a double, allows third base to score, and unfortunately gets greedy and is out at third. What a clown. They should trade him, or maybe not. I mean, he did get a hit. Top of the third inning, first batter gets striked out easily. Second batter is also another fool. Pfft, easy. Third batter hits it, but like I said, they hit sloppy with this tactic, and he goes out. Bottom of the third, this happened. How I didn't get out, I won't ever know, but I learned the CPU can be tricked pretty easily here. I get my first out, but at least I still had a runner on base. Next batter, I tried stealing. Maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was at this yet. But I also hit a fly ball for an out. No run this inning, but I'm still ahead by 2. Fourth inning, much of the same really. I had full bases, 2 outs, and I wanted a grand slam. And I got the next best thing, I think. 3 runs in, a quick little dance, and that's 4 runs in actually. Does that count as a in the park home run? I think I was doing well at this point. As long as my tactic worked, I had nothing to worry about. However, they were starting to get smart about my tactic, and they cleared 2 runs this inning. My defensive plan was falling apart, and I'm only 4 ahead. I know how the CPU can just bring things back easily. And damn, dude, now I'm only 3 ahead. All right, I got them out, but I had to work on my offense in order to actually win. And things were looking a little better, but 6th inning, well, they weren't performing so well till after the 2nd out. They were only about 2 behind. Luckily, I just striked them out then and there. My inning was next, and I scored 3 on them. All of a sudden, my offense was picking up. I swear, I still don't know what I'm doing, but somehow it's working. 7th inning stretch. Time for a hot dog and sodas. Dang, I don't remember the last time I went to a game. Actually, I think the last time I went to a game was to like a Dodger game, and I'm pretty sure I had like a hot dog and a beer maybe? I don't remember. It was so long ago. I kind of want to go back to a game. They just want to be at 7th inning, and there was no change in score. They didn't score a point, and neither did I. I guess I just repeated the same thing twice, didn't I? But okay, as long as things stayed like this, I would still win. So this is actually not a bad thing. 8th inning, they scored 1 on me. But I scored 3. And okay, I think you know how this ends. Top of the 9th, they're out. I cheesed the CPU out of a victory, and I don't feel bad about it, to be honest. They played super well and shut me out completely in the games before. Without this strat, I don't think I would have beaten this game at all, to be honest. And at least it wasn't through like save stating or whatever, so like, you know, you gotta give me credit for that. So what are my thoughts on this game? Honestly, the 1-player mode is actually pretty bad, right? I think it's because it's a CPU and you don't really get to play against somebody else that it kind of just feels boring. They know how to play super well. They read your proper pitches well. Your fastballs, they're hitting home runs. Your slow balls, they're hitting home runs. It really is unfair. They just know what to do because they're computers. Until you start cheesing that and manipulating what they're programmed to do by doing this little strat, right? But it's not very fun to do that. However, I have played this with the 2-player mode, and I can say for a fact that is a fucking good time. The 2-player mode in this is actually really fun. If you have a friend or a girlfriend or whatever, then play with them, and I guarantee you, like, it's so simple. It's so easy to understand and pick up. It's a lot of fun, despite it being like so old and wonky with like no music whatsoever. But it's really good, man. I kind of recommend that. And because of that, yeah, I think I give it like a 7 out of 10. I only recommend the 2-player mode with that score, however. If you're just going to play it by yourself, I would give it a 1 out of 10. But if you got someone else, this is still a fun, simple game to play. And honestly, I can still play this today. Guess this is why Nintendo is so goated. And with that said, I'm actually going to go play a couple rounds. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.